efficiency, there are different indicators that can be used according to what we want to measure, whether in terms of absolute values or relative values, and how we want to measure it, whether in physical units or in monetary units. On the basis of these two dimensions, we can define several indicators that can be measured with different levels of details, for example, single items, product families, or the entry of stock in the warehouse. Let's see these indicators one by one. The average inventory level measures the absolute value of the inventories in physical units. Let's consider, for example, the graph shown in the picture. We consider a time horizon of 12 weeks. In the first week, the inventory level is equal to 6 units, in the second and third week is equal to 3 units, then from the fourth to the 8th week is equal to 2 units, and in the last 4 weeks is equal to 5 units. The average inventory level is therefore the weighted average of these values, and so it is equal to 3.5 units. Let's now consider a second example. Here the demand of the goods is continuous, and thus the stock level varies between a maximum value of 6 units and a minimum value of 0 units. Thus the average inventory level in this case is computed as the average of 6 and 0, thus resulting in 3 units. Switching to the monetary value, we can measure the efficiency through the average value of the inventories. That is, we have to consider the monetary value of the items multiplied by the average inventory level. The value of the inventories should be defined considering all the relevant costs that have been sustained in order to have the stocks in the warehouse. For example, purchasing and production, variable costs, transport, and so on. As for the relative indicators, we can use the inventory turnover ratio quantity, which is found as the ratio between the outgoing flow and the average inventory level in period T. It tells how many times the inventories turn in the considered time period. The unit of measure is turns per period, and it's usually calculated on a yearly basis. In addition, we can use the days of supply, which is calculated as the ratio between the average inventory level and the average daily consumption in period T. Therefore, it measures the expected period of autonomy or coverage of the warehouse in case it was not replenished anymore, and it is thus equal to the average amount of time spent by the goods in the warehouse. The days of supply is the reciprocal of the inventory turnover ratio if tie units are chosen coherently. The inventory turnover ratio and the days of supply can also be computed in monetary units. In this case, we should consider the value of the outgoing flow and of the average inventories instead of the physical quantities. Till now, we have always referred to the inventories that are physically in the warehouse. Nevertheless, it is important to distinguish two different concepts that are commonly used in inventory management: the inventory level and the availability. The inventory level is the physical quantity on hand, and it thus represents the amount of inventories actually being in the warehouse. Indeed, it increases when the ordered goods enter the warehouse after the replenishment lead time, and it decreases according to the demand. The availability is instead the virtual quantity on hand. In fact, it includes the amount of goods that have already been ordered but still did not enter the warehouse. Moreover, it does not consider the amount of goods that are physically in the warehouse but are not available because they have already been assigned to specific customers. In this lecture, we have analyzed the inventory planning process, and we have shown some indicators that can be used to measure its performances in terms of effectiveness and efficiency. We have also introduced the difference between inventories and availability.